Right, so in this second part of the Blend Shapes candle animation video, we're going to show how to do some animation on the candle. So first of all, let's set our timeline to, let's do, say, 4 seconds of animation, or even actually, let's just do 2 seconds. Yeah, 4 seconds will do. Okay, so let's set our timeline from frame 1 to 99, and, and then let's go ahead and set some keyframes, and we can do that excuse me, using the sliders up here. So I'm going to go ahead and set a keyframe there at the base, on the base shape, and then I'm going to go to frame 9, and I'm going to activate that target shape and set a keyframe there, edit key, and that's just, I think I just, let's see, has that edited, has that done anything? No, it hasn't. Okay, so let's try that again. So let's take target shape down to, let's keyframe it there at frame 1 and then go up to 9. It's a bit of a fiddle, this process. You just kind of have to experiment with it and then key it there. Is it keying it? Why isn't it keying it? Okay, there we go. So that's doing it. So if I press play, there we go. So I'm getting a little bit of animation there. So now let's go to say frame 17, and let's take it back, that target shape back to, and now let's maybe take that one down there. Let's try that. Yeah. And so then now if we want to see our keyframes, we're going to have to look in the we're going to have to look down in the graph editor, or rather the channel box. So if you go into the channel box and you scroll down, you're going to see the keyframes down here, and you can edit them and tweak them in there. So if I go back to, let's say, go back to 25, let's try dialing in another target shape there. Take it down there, and then 33. Let's take them all down. Or maybe go to that one there. The idea is just to get a little kind of flicker animation. It's not particularly good what I've done here. I think the version that I did in the video is better, but the idea is to keep this tutorial short, and what you'd want to do is to have probably 5 or 6 of these different shapes and interpolate between them, and then you can kind of mess around with it and just experiment with trying different different combinations of shapes. Something like that. There we go. So you've got a little bit of animation there. If we go back to the panels perspective, if I press play now, let's actually take my shot down to frame 57. So there we go. And if I press play, you'll now see I've got the candle kind of bobbing around there for 57 frames. And now that we've done that, we can go ahead and apply the glow to it. In order to do that, you want to go to the target shape and then right-click and add a shader. So I'm going to go assign favorite material. You can't see this because it's off the screen, but it's assign favorite material Lambert. So I've got a Lambert, and if I scroll through here to Lambert 2 and make that yellow sort of flame shape, something like that. So now I've got a kind of a burning flame, as it were. But what I want to do is make it glow. So in the attribute editor, I can scroll down through my options down here, and if I scroll down into special effects, I can go in and, sorry, it's a little difficult to see this, but what we're looking for is glow intensity. And if I take that up to 3, there we go, like that. And now if I go back to the channel box, and if I go ahead and light that, or just do a quick render, which you can't see my render menu here because my screen is kind of constricted, but let's see if we can get to the render menu. There we go, render settings up there. So if I just do a quick render in Maya software, and if I just hit render now, I should get a little bit of a glow there. Now that's too much. So what I want to do is go back to the attribute editor and take that glow intensity. Let's try taking that down to 1, and let's go for another one. Okay, so that's a little better. So something like that. Now, so if I just pull my screen back in so you can see it. Now, if I go ahead and create a shot camera, because we always want to have something to render from, and if I go create cameras, camera, call it shot camera or shot cam, panels look through selected, and now I zoom out. There we go. And put a resolution gate on there. And let's just check our render settings again. So let's just go to if we go to the render menu, I can go to render settings up here. So I can go render settings. And if we render image format, let's try that as a JPEG, name.hashtag.ext. We usually pick end frame as 49 frames. Perspective, we want to render from our shot camera. HD 720, these are pretty standard settings. And then close. Actually, one last thing. Let's go render settings, and yeah, okay, we've got HD 720. Let me just try, and then let's move these guys out of the way. Panels, perspective, get all them out of the way. We don't want them in the shot. There we go, back to the shot camera there. Let's make sure we've got our camera selected. Windows, outliner, candle. Sorry, Windows, outliner, camera, I meant to say, shot camera. And then let's zoom in a little bit for the shot camera. Lock the camera off. Right click, lock selected. Let's just do our render test again. There we go, there's our camera. Perhaps a bit, the glow might still be actually a little bit too bright. Let's go into that and just take it down a little bit more. Find the tab, Lambert 2, whoops, glow intensity, let's take that down to 0.6. Render it again. Okay, that'll do. And then what we can do now is render out a series of images. So we're basically going to do a render sequence, which we will find in our images folder in Maya. So back in the rendering menu, we go render, render sequence, options box, and then go render sequence and close. And Maya will now render out a series of images of the candle flickering away in our Maya window. Because I'm using very, very low resolution candle here, that's not going to take very long. And if I go ahead and open up my Maya folder. So if I go to Documents, Maya, Projects, Candle, Images, I will find all of those images there. And what I can then do is open that up with some editing software, turn it into a film. I can either do this in Premiere, or if I'm on a Mac with QuickTime. Really, any editing software will allow you to do this. And you just open those up, turn it into a movie file, and you have a flickering candle using blend shapes in Maya.